Okay, Liam. Deep breaths. V is alive. They verbally confirmed Uzi. The murder drones are going to worker drone school. Uzi ate sin, and did I mention yet that V is alive? Alright. Let's take this one step at a time. So, let's start with the obvious thing that I just mentioned, which is... let's start from the beginning of the episode. So, the episode begins with gravity just switching off, and everything floating into space. Before we get a cut to Uzi in the... after the events of episode 7, floating through space, gazing upon her destroyed home planet, and then she meets Nori again. For the first time, they actually have a proper interaction, like a mother and daughter, and yeah, it doesn't turn out too well. Uzi breaks the news that she kind of destroyed the crucifix that could have saved them all. Nori cusses her out, and then their interaction is cut short after N accidentally rams into Uzi with a spaceship. Then they have a little moment where they reunite, and N actually admits he's still kind of mad about what Uzi did, but they can talk about it later. But yeah. Then they get attacked by the Absolute Solver and those glowing yellow tendrils that we saw in the trailer, and yeah, they are sent hurtling towards the ground, towards Copper 9, and then
we're dating, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just because I can't always read.
Yeah.
But come on, be professional about this. So yeah, they crash into the planet, but meanwhile, Khan, Thad, and Lizzie are on a separate chunk of the planet, and they're about to get hunted down by and killed by Jay. But holy hell, V is alive! V is alive. Wow. No, by the way, I actually figured that out before most people, because I checked out the merch store before the finale premiered, and I saw the poster with Jay and V fighting, so I was like, wait a minute, why would they include V and Jay fighting unless V is alive? So, yeah, I kind of pieced it together, I kind of had it confirmed before most people, actually, which, I just think that's pretty cool. So, anyways, yeah, and, anyways, moving on with the episode, we have V fighting Jay, and, oh yeah, V came in riding a dinosaur who then started mauling Lizzie. Unfortunately she didn't die, but this was close enough. Oh yeah, I should also check off the predictions as I go along. So, let's check my predictions list from that video. Well, first of all, like I already said, Lizzie didn't die, so we can cross that off. Nori and Uzi did reunite, if only temporarily, so I can check that box off. So, anyways, let's keep on going with this, shall we? So, yeah. Next up is, so, after that, N and Uzi encounter Tessa, and, both of them come very close to death, with N nearly getting his inside scooped out, and, Uzi getting stabbed to the chest, but, luckily her core, which basically, oh yeah, I don't think I've explained what a core is yet. Basically, you know what Nori is in modern day? That's her core. It's basically your heart and the physical embodiment of your soul. If your physical body dies, then as long as your core is alive, you will continue to live as said core. Unless maybe you can find a new body. I don't really know how that works. I don't think anyone else does either. But anyways, next up on that list is oh yeah, next blah blah, and yeah, they're after running away, the two of them hide from Sinessa, and N has a panic attack, but yeah, now we can add that to the wall of realistic depictions of panic attacks in animation. It's looking mighty hefty right now. But, anyways, seriously, back on track. V tries to find, Tessa, well, Sin, actually, and Uzi, and, yeah, Sin ends up telling her, hey, if you stop right there, I will not murder your best friend. But, yep. They all almost died, but, then we're set up for the big final battle. So, it's Scien and Jay versus Uzi, N, and V. Plus Nori's Nightcore mix. But, yeah. Scien tries to trick the group multiple times with a variety of different illusions, but, nope, doesn't work this time. But, it almost works, but hey, now there's 3 of them. So, yeah. Jay gets sent tumbling into the void, and then, like, never to be seen again. And then as for Scien, she's a lot tougher to fight, but they end up defeating her because she accidentally teleported right where, like, her chest would be directly where Uzi's hand is. So she accidentally let herself get punched through the chest by Uzi, and then ripped her core out, and then, like, one of the powers of the Absolute Solver is to create basically like black holes, like nullified things, I don't know. So she nullified Tessa's core, and yeah, that temporarily kind of like just like grays out the world, I guess, I don't really know. And Tessa tries to get the core back so she can eat it and, you know, regain like her power, I guess. But nope, Uzi eats it. Uzi just straight up eats the Eldritch world-ending demon. And that's why, in the picture that you can see here, her eyes are partially yellow. It's because she ate Scien, and now she has all those abilities. So, yeah. And, yeah, everything kind of, you know, reconciles, like, and, like, Nori and Khan temporarily meet, but, yeah, Nori ends up getting embarrassed and running away sobbing while, Khan calls it hot. If only he knew. And, like, N and Uzi reunite and, like, hug it out. And then everything kind of wraps up with it all coming full circle, and this being Uzi's like, little presentation. And, yeah, now N and V are attending that school, and, sorry, I can't contain myself when they verbally make Uzi canon, but, yeah. So, yeah, that's the end. We get a few more, like, images in the credits of, like, them rewatching their little adventures in anime, and we even get this little post-credit scene where it turns out that Scien's consciousness is now stored inside of Uzi's tail, and it's very annoying, apparently. So, yeah, that's it. That's it? I feel like there was something missing. Well, let's actually review it now instead of recapping it. Now, let's talk about the main complaints I see lodged against this episode. It was too rushed. Well, while I do agree that, yes, it was kind of rushed, I feel like they still made it work, even if that's the case. Like, sure, I'd be fine if they delayed it a little bit so they could, you know, make it longer and, like, improve the timing, but, hey, for a rushed episode, it's pretty good. I mean, like, the animation's solid, the fight scenes are spot on, and it's got a really nice, funny ending. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, neither of my other predictions came true, by the way. Uzi's was alive, and they didn't escape Copper 9, they just remained on Copper 9. Like, after the fact, and, like, they repaired it. But, anyways, now let's have a look at, like, some other things that let's see what else I didn't really like about this. So, honestly, this is a complaint that I've lodged before, but I feel like V being alive kind of takes the emotion out of episode 6's ending. Like, the entire emotion of that scene is that V is like sacrificing herself, and like that's kind of like the conclusion of her character arc. But as happy as I am that she's back, it also doesn't feel right. And oh yeah, it also makes Doll's death even more pointless because she didn't even accomplish her first goal of killing V. Like, she didn't accomplish anything with her death. God, just makes her death all the sadder. But anyways, next let's talk about all the fake out deaths. I honestly feel like the first 2 were pretty good, but honestly after that I kind of started to lose the impact for me a bit. But like it was still epic and kind of horrifying, but honestly, I don't know. But anyways, next up I'm gonna talk about some of the good points. Like, there's a lot of them. I'm just gonna list certain ones off. First of all, the animation, spot on, 10 out of 10, best the series has ever looked. I'm glad that we got like a fully remade visual rendition of V with the episode 7/8 graphics instead of the episode 6 visuals. But anyways, I also like the fight choreography. It's probably the best in the show. Like Tessa and Jay versus Uzi, N and V is probably the best fight scene in the whole show. Yeah, it even tops the Doll versus N and Uzi. So yeah, that's good. Next up is the horror elements. Like, seriously, let me just show you how Tessin dies. Yeah, she melts into a pile of melted metal, melted flesh, and bones. But actually, there's another complaint that I have. Like, I feel like they kind of dropped the whole thing with why Uzi did this stuff in the first place. Like, she was originally setting out to go kill all the humans, but they kind of dropped that all after episode 1. And J.C. Jensen was only ever relevant again as in episode 5, and even then they weren't the most relevant. But honestly, it feels like they just became pointless after the pilot. God, this is why I feel like this should have been longer, so you can kind of tie up loose ends. I feel like there were a few loose ends that they left untied. So anyways, those are my personal complaints and a couple of praises that I have for this episode. Oh yeah, and I also find it. I also like that Uzi now has an annoying tail attached to her for the rest of her life, and also I really like the new eyes on her. The purple fades into yellow. It actually looks pretty cool. And also some of the credits images, like for instance, oh yeah, this one of Uzi and flying together, and this one of them watching an anime retelling of their adventures in her bed. It's it's fun. That's what this whole series was to me. It was just a fun time. It made us laugh, made us cry, made us scream. It really brought us all the joys that we could imagine, and also some of the not so joys. But now it's over. So, what now? Well, there's only one thing that I can really think of now. Now we just have to rely on our own fan-made content. Like Insecurity's coming up. We might get a fully animated version of Intermission in the future, and then there's plus there's plenty of fan art to be made, plenty of fan art to be looked at. People can still create fan episodes besides Intermission and Insecurity. So, maybe the series won't die in the same way as something for instance, Meta Runner. I'd say that's well and gone. You don't see many people talking about that. Do you? Do you really see anyone really talking about Meta Runner these days? No. It didn't have that didn't have the same following as Murder Drones did. Besides the newest episode, which I think might have even surpassed it already, the least viewed episodes of Murder Drones still have more views than the most popular episodes of Meta Runner. And so, I feel that really says a lot about, this fan base. I don't think it's going to die off as soon as something like Meta Runner or Sunset Paradise. Because, there's a lot more people around to watch it this time. And, well, let's just promise ourselves this right now. We will not let this fandom die. We will keep on with our fan projects, our fan art, our fan-made episodes, our theories. we will continue on with everything, and we'll keep moving on. The show may be over, but we're not gonna forget it, right? Well, I'm probably gonna have a lot of Murder Drones content lined up for the next while, so at least I can say I'm contributing to the solution. So see you when that comes out. Bye bye. Oh, by the way, no video on Sunday. I've spent the whole week making videos. All right, bite me.